Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight here for the match of the week. As always, Joe Youngblood joined by Glenn, and we are here at the Bear Gymnasium at Boyertown High School. And we got the Owen J. Roberts Wildcats and the Boyertown Bears going in a matchup of two top 5 teams in District 1. Glenn, give me your initial thoughts on tonight.
Well, I still have Owen J as the number 2 team, but after seeing Springford the other day, it's a toss-up there, and Boyertown's been wrestling really well. So, again, to me, this is just another typical day in the pack. Boyertown, Owen J squaring up. Probably the first of maybe 2 matchups this year. So I'm excited for some good wrestling here at Boyertown, and it's my second trip up, and I'm looking forward to this Owen J team. Seeing what they're going to get out of this Boyertown team tonight.
Yeah, I think you can almost claim residency here now that you've been here twice this season.
Oh, yeah, especially after my dinner.
Yeah. So we got a match here tonight. Maybe you're going to see some of the guys the regulars aren't going to be in the lineup for Boyertown, unfortunately. But, one thing for sure, when these two teams get together, it's going to be an all-out brawl. Both teams, in fact, are missing guys in their lineup. And, you're at juncture of season where guys are getting banged up, nicked up, and a few nagging injuries. And the ultimate thing is to be healthy down the stretch. So, they sacrifice missing maybe this match. And, again, it's a big match to miss. This is Hall of Fame night here at Boyertown. As you can hear in the background, they're introducing the 4 newest members to the Boyertown Area Wrestling Association's Hall of Fame. We're going to talk a little bit about those 4 inductees as we go through here. And, a few things we're looking for tonight is, when the lights go down, that mat lamp comes up, it's going to be a war tonight.
Yeah, and you have to go with what you have as a coach. The wrestlers know that too. You're going to have a guy out here or there. Miller's out with a broken nose, as we know. So there are going to be some guys out of the lineup that would be keys to this matchup. But it doesn't matter. As we head into these next critical 2 weeks before the district dual seating meeting on the 20th, this is the type of match that will really be looked at, regardless of who's in the lineup and who's not in the lineup. The winner of this match will be seated a little bit higher.
Yeah, and it'll go a long way in the pack standings as well. That it's a logjam at the top with Springford, Owen J, and Boyertown perennially being the top 3 teams. And, tomorrow night we're at Council Rock South to see Springford Rock South, and that's going to be another exciting match, having a 1 and 2 ranked team
that's going to be tremendous
in the region. Yeah, and, we're looking forward to that as well. And we're going to see, kind of how things shake out. We're really going to see if Rock South can flex that muscle that everyone's been talking about and we've kind of seen. And we'll see Springford, again, a team that's now, is there every year now, see how they're going to stack up against them. And a potential matchup of the, district duals final coming up. And, it's all going to shuffle out the seedings as we go forward. We're about 2 weeks away from that seating meeting on Sunday, Martin Luther King Day weekend, and we'll be at Escape the Rock that day filming, and we're we'll
do a little preview show.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to do a preview show from Rock South. And, nothing set in stone there yet. But, talking a little bit about, as you hear in the background, about these inductees to the Boyertown Hall of Fame. And Glenn and I'll take a little turns here. Troy Eagle, he's a 1979 graduate of Boyertown High School. He was head coach at Junior High East for 12 years, Boyertown East. And his coaching record is 108-24. 6 times they won the Perk Valley Tournament champions. For those who remember back in the day, that was a real tough tournament that went away. It was around the holiday weekend. They'd get Easton to come down and Maya, some schools from the Lehigh Valley. 3-time Wilson and Quakertown tournament champions. So, Quakertown being the traditional, what we refer to as SEPA, and Wilson as a tournament out in, Wilson Westlawn. That is basically the postseason for District 3, roughly about 42 to 48 teams, depending on the year. 1-time Daniel Boone and Hamburg tournament champions. Coached numerous wrestlers through his Boyertown program that went on to become state medalists at the high school level, including PAA state champion Mike Spade, already inducted, and he's now on the mic right now behind us. And he was assistant coach at Boyertown Youth Wrestling for 2014 season. So, that's Troy Eagle as one of our inductees. I'm going to get the next one, Matt Malfaro. Some of you from recent memory might remember Matt. He's one of these all-time greats that went through in that mid-2000 stages of this Boyertown program when they were, at the top in Kingfish in District 1.
They were the force in District 1 during that time.
Malfero was a career record 147 and 43 with 59 falls. He was a 3-time state qualifier. He's a 1-time medalist. His senior year, he was a District 1 AAA South champion, Southeast Regional champion, and he was 7th at PIAA. His best single season record was 41 and 7. I'm going to hand over here to Glenn here to talk about Diane Hefner and Ralph Reich, the other 2 nominees for this year, Boyertown Hall of Fame class induction.
Yeah, just want to mention Matt Malfero there in the regional championship his senior year against Matt Harkins in one heck of a match. A lot of throws going down in that one, and Malfero with a cement mixer and a headlock to beat Matt Harkins for that Southeast Region title 9-7. I'll never forget it, and they went on to place at states that year. So Malfero, again, just one of those many lightweights during that run that Boyertown had. Diane Hefner's Boyertown Youth Wrestling Program. She was the concession stand volunteer, member board of directors 2000-2004, vice president 2002-3, president 03-04, and then she's been volunteering all that time, 1998 to 2004. At the BAWA, the Boyertown Area Wrestling Association, she's the Bear Duels concession stand volunteer again in 06. 06 and 08, she was running the fun days and the youth volunteer with the wrestling booth, co-director of the concessions in 07 and 09. Again, member of the board of directors from 2007 to 2016. And then again, director of all events of the concessions in 2009, 2016, and president in 2009. And again, volunteering all that time. Describe her as Boyertown Wrestling Unifier would indeed be an understatement. Diane Hefner has far more than a decade represented what is the heart and soul of the storied Boyertown wrestling community. She has been an avid Boyertown wrestling supporter from both wrestling parent and parent alumni perspectives. Her tireless work ethic is second to none. Diane Hefner does indeed epitomize what Boyertown wrestling represents to so many throughout the region and beyond. So congratulations to Diane for all her volunteering and hard work over the years, not only with the club, but with the youth wrestling program and the Wrestling Association and all the way up through here to the high school. Ralph Resch. Ralph is a Boyertown Youth Wrestling Program tournament volunteer. He also coached the Boyertown Youth Wrestling Program 1988 to 2003, 15 solid years of youth coaching here in Boyertown. He was the assistant coach at Boyertown Senior Area High School, 2003 to 2016. Again, another 13 years of dedication at the PIAA level. And then he also coached as an assistant coach at the junior high, both East and West from 05 and 06. And again, he was a wrestler at Western University for 3 years as a varsity guy there. So again, many years of wrestling, coaching here in the Boyertown area, and I'm sure a lot of people in the stands and a lot of wrestlers that have come through the program have been affected by all 4 of these people, including, Matt Malfero as a wrestler himself as a youth during those times. So they're whooping it up here in Boyertown. If the Upper Perk fans could be here, they would love this.
Glenn, this is a special night to be part of here at Boyertown because they're definitely one of the programs that does it right. It's a community effort. The community rallies behind their sports here, and it's really nice to see. And all these people come out. We have a nice crowd here tonight. And it doesn't look like that behind us because they put us off in the corner. And it is what it is. We're mat side, so that's all that matters. And
it's always a great crowd here at Boyertown. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter how many fans are actually in the building. It's just the dedication, the commitment to coming out and supporting the wrestlers and the kids. And it'll be raucous and loud in here, I'm sure, with the Owen J fans and the Boyertown fans. The Boyertown fans, again, I make light of that Upper Perk Boyertown rivalry back in the day, but it was a great respect that Boyertown had earned here in District 1. Coming right in and establishing themselves as a power, as the ones to go through. And, Council Rock South may be that team right now in District 1, but that was Boyertown for many, many years. So I feel a lot of pride and respect when I come into this gym and watch a wrestling match of this magnitude in the pack.
Yeah. So they're still going through their match festivities here at the Hall of Fame, and I think I got Ralph Reich out there now, and they're introducing him. Former coach Pete Ventresca, former Bears coach, is out there, talking about Ralph right now, who's one of his longtime assistants, as Glenn said before. Glenn's talked the match here. Let's get into why we're here, why we're covering it. On paper, with full lineups, this was going to be a barn burner. I had it 34-32, and I did it several ways. I had 34-32 Owen J. I had it 32-29 Boyertown. It all depends on what happened with who and where guys went. And again, it comes down to what we talk about all the time, the coin toss. Who wins the flip? Who's got to show first? And then that's where the strategy becomes involved in the match, and it becomes a chess match at that point, trying to create the best matchups for your team. And these are two teams that are masters of creating those matchups and using those advantages using that coin flip to their advantage.
Yeah, and I looked at it a little bit myself, and I probably had it at 33-30 with Owen J victorious with a full lineup. But then when you walk into the gym, you get a different scenario. Now I'm kind of feeling that some bonus points here for Owen J could make this thing like a 36-27 type match. Maybe even a little bit more with Boyertown, if they don't prevent the big points. But the bottom line here is this is a pack match, so anything can happen. Upsets. This is the type of match where you see upsets with individual matchups. We saw it at Council Rock South, Council Rock North with Hauserman with the quick fall on Waterman. We've seen it throughout the season already. This early part of the new year with these district duels the other day, the Council Rock Rockyard duels. Jackson Herb gets an overtime win over an undefeated AJ Tamburino, all the way up at 160.
Yeah.
Like, how do these matchups occur? Colton Jordan again upsetting. Not only did he beat Hanson Ashworth, but he upsets Luke Luzerne. So an upset here or there from Boyertown, and we're back to that tight score. But yeah, I think the first 1 to 30 is going to get it done tonight. Yeah. That's kind of always my motto.
And Glenn and I, we talked off camera before we started, and talking with Zach Hefner, former Boyertown wrestler. Some of you might remember, real tough guy. Now coaches Boyertown Junior High West program. We were talking, and he said, well, how do you have the match? And I said, I got it close. And he's like, kind of winced a little bit. He's like, I'm not sure. And I said, well, no, it's going to be, I feel it's going to be close. And obviously he knew some of the other things. I said, full lineup, it's close. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, every time Owen J and Boyertown get together, he's like, it's an all-out war. And he said, Owen J always brings it, and they're ready to go. And being a fan and seeing this match several times, I can say the same thing about Boyertown bringing it every time it's ready to strap up and wrestle Owen J or spring forward in those big matches. These programs kind of rise to the occasion and just make it happen. They will themselves to victory. They win those matches they shouldn't win to kind of sway it in their favor. And that very easily can happen tonight, despite Boyertown. They might be injured, they might be nicked up a little bit, but they're a wounded animal, and that's a dangerous thing. That we could see Boyertown, someone come out, and it comes down to just one throw, one move, and it changes the face of the match.
Yeah, one 12-point swing, one match. A fall where you're not supposed to get it. You're supposed to get a fall, and the fall goes the other way. It's a 12-point swing. That's huge in a match like this. You're talking about Owen J and Boyertown. Again, I've been so impressed with the pack over the years. Every dual meet, like you said, they bring it. And Owen J always seems to be wrestling like it's for the state title. And I think that's what we talked about off camera a little bit. And I said to Joe, well, hey, isn't that what every dual meet should be like? Every match for every wrestler should be like the state finals. And if you bring that attitude and that approach to every match that you wrestle, this is what you're going to have. You're going to have a program like Owen J, program like Boyertown, just two programs, the elite programs, top 5 here in District 1, year in and year out. We're going to see some fireworks tonight. Whether, the one team's overmatched or not with the lineup, we're going to still see some great wrestling.
Yeah, like I said, you're going to see that intensity and that drive of what we've been led to believe is a banged up Boyertown team that's going to elevate everyone else. Coach Dave Jones, Coach Haley, Coach Cobb, Nyman. They're going to have them ready. Not to mention the fact that wrestling in front of their home crowd on the Hall of Fame night. There's all these factors that are going to go into getting this together and bringing this team up and lifting them up So I'm excited to see what happens. We're going to see some, we're going to see some of the top guys in the region hit the mat tonight. And just looking at Boyertown's lineup, Julian Maldonado, a guy I'm a huge fan of. He just goes. Like last year, Glennon, what did he weigh? Maybe like 96 pounds, maybe.
Yeah, and now he's filled out.
Yeah, he filled out some, and at 96 pounds, he was still like a hammer, and he just got overpowered down the stretch. And probably was the difference between him going to States and not going to States last year. Truth be told.
Absolutely.
And another young guy we might see in the lineup, Cade David Heiser from Boyertown, a guy I saw and coached against in the middle school ranks.
Good pedigree with the David Heisers.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely one of the up and coming stars. That's maybe not his true weight class just yet because he goes where Maldonado doesn't. We're going to see we won't see Jacob Miller tonight because he didn't weigh in. He's a top-ranked guy at 195 pounds in District 1.
We are going to see Mancini for the first time, at least I am tonight, yes. So I'm excited to see, how he's looking, and he's a number one guy and a guy, here in District 1 that is looking for a state title
too. Yeah, he's number one in the state too.
Yeah, I mean he's looking for a state title, so I'm really glad to get to see him tonight. But we talked about this Boyertown team in the preseason show about what are they? What is this team? Is it Boyertown? And it is Boyertown. They reloaded, if you want to call it reloading. I call it that next man up. I love Brad Sillenperry's statement like that, and I think that's the approach of Boyertown, Owen J, Springford, all these programs that are have sustainability with success and quality wrestlers year in and year out. Boyertown is the same old Boyertown. They can beat you on any given night here in the pack. So, like I said, you're talking about some of the top wrestlers not only in District 1 but in the state that are going to be showcased here tonight, and it's going to be a great wrestling match. And again, when we have these type of Hall of Fame things, I'm very intrigued. Good thing we got to see the list of guys that were nominated too.
It's quite a list.
Yeah, it's quite a list. And again,
we had an insider info. We got the whole list of all the nominations this year, including the 4 who are getting inducted. And it's so impressive to have that many people, the accolades they had on the ballot that didn't get in and haven't gotten in yet. And it just goes to show like the how big this program is. It's bigger than just this high school. It's the community, and it's the the draws from the whole district. And it's really neat, as we said, and we can say it so many different ways, but it's you see it when you look at these the pages we had in front of us and see the just how big it is, and it's great. It's one of those things where you a lot of programs should aspire to have the support and that.
Oh yeah, it's the history, and we talk about sports programs, not only in high school but at the collegiate level, and of course, professional programs. But Boyertown has set a standard in wrestling long before they came to District 1. I don't know what kind of success they had back then, but when they got to District 1, they wanted to be the best, and they kind of set the bar high, and they attained their goals right out of the gate. And then to maintain that over the years that they did, they had a 5-year run, a 10-year run, a 15-year run, and then they had another decade where they were impressive here in District 1, which again, we're starting another decade here when we get to 2020. So I'm just impressed and amazed that their sustainability with the midget program through to the middle school, because that's where we always talk about the middle school, Joe, and you're being a middle school coach and how important that is for success. And Owen J is again a program that says the middle school is what it takes to be a successful program. So something's happening here with the midgets, the middle school, and of course when we get to the high school. Now Malfaro just was our last inductee here. So
be the last one that they're going to talk about in the background. I'd be remiss if I didn't give Dom Petroselli a shout-out. Antonio's older brother, former Owen J wrestler, sent a text to let us know that the stream went down. He was the first one to get to me, as was Joe Faust. And so thank you guys for bringing that to our attention. We just had it running, as many of you know that were watching early on. About 20 minutes before we went live, we had 30 people on. And so thank you guys for letting us know that the stream went off, and for everyone else being patient with the new link and everything.
We do have the best tech guy on the planet here with Mike Leister, so he was going to pick up on that problem sooner or later. But I don't even know what Twitter is, but I'm glad somebody got a hold of us and let us know what was going on here.
So once Mike got word of it, it was a pretty quick fix and got the link out and tweeted out pretty quick. And Mike's been in and out of the table here with us, making sure things are run smoothly. He's also taking pictures for Boyertown Wrestling Association for their Hall of Fame night. He wears many hats when it comes to wrestling. And as we're coming out right now, Owen J's coming out to do their warm up. Well, 3 guys made it out, and both Boyertown come out.
They're coming out in threes. Coming out in threes. They're coming out in threes. Wondering where the rest of the team is. Here they come.
So Owen J did their traditional 20-minute warm-up earlier, and now it's going to come back out and get loosened up. We had 7 JV matches tonight. The other thing that's great that we talk about with wrestling, and people that say that wrestling is a dying sport, my middle school match day, we had 7 JV matches on top of the 14 we wrestled in the duel itself. There were a few forfeits, and here we probably have 2 full lineups going at it tonight, and we had 7 JV matches. I'll tell you what, we probably could have had a lot more.
Yep.
In all honesty, both teams are very healthy numbers wise, and a lot of programs we're covering. Yes, we do get to a lot of the some of the better teams, but we're seeing healthy JV everywhere we go.
Yeah,
we saw a healthy amount of JV at Hatboro Wissahickon last week, and it's really neat to see all these numbers up on these programs. Now it's not that case with everyone, but it's not as a dire situation.
Well, right, and we're not doubling up with JVs. Typically, you see a lot of kids go twice. With the JVs, but at half proportion with Wissahickon, Council Rocks, and now here tonight, you have probably 10 to 15 kids that could wrestle JV if they match up. You could have a full 14 on 14 with these teams, and that's encouraging for the sport. And Drew Markle wrote an article today in our local paper in the Record and the Courier Times, indicating that about the weight class situation. A lot of forfeits and too many weight classes. Bring it back down to 12. I think is his idea. I agree. We could bring it down to 13. I think 13 for me would be great.
Helps break those ties.
Yeah, it breaks the ties. It gets rid of that. For me, it's the upper weight, that 220, 285 for me, and the 195. They're just too close together. The sport is not dying. It's a growing sport. You're seeing more and more JVs out here. But again, I back to the middle school. You had 20 matches today, right?
Correct.
And how many weight classes?
18 weight classes.
So there you go. So that just shows that we are filling the sport at the middle school level, which kind of is a prelude to the PIAA. What you're going to put out there. And Mike's very familiar with these numbers with the AA and the AAA and, the qualifiers and the 20-man bracket, us getting our 5th qual. All that stuff is really, really important. And it's not only numbers of boys in each school or girls, if you will, at this point, because they're included right now with co-ed, wrestling. The bottom line is, we have full lineups. Maybe it is a weight class problem, but I don't think it really is a problem. I know in the SOL we have a couple schools that are down. Even a Methacton team, they're kind of light. They're a key guy in or out. Tony Ellis out of their lineup this weekend in a tough dual meet tournament. They're in trouble. But I think the numbers game is kind of turned the tide. I think the PIAA is probably pretty happy with the numbers, and then with the new girls, possible coming in with their own state tournament, their own sport maybe down the road. Those tell you the numbers are coming up. If you have a girls group that may have their own wrestling. So for me, I feel it's a growing sport. The dying sport for me is long gone. The whole Olympic nonsense, I'm done with that. This is the world's oldest and greatest sport.
Agreed. So we're moments away from Boyertown coming out for their warm up. Glenn, let's get down to it now. We've talked. We've done it all right now. We've mentioned it all. Give me your prediction. What do you got tonight? Who do you got? And give me a score. And who's going to be your standout guy? Who's going to stand out tonight in this dual meet?
I'm going to stick with my 36-27
See, the lights are coming down in the background. The ambiance is set. There we go. Lights are down.
There it is, 36-27, Owen J. And I think Mancini with a big fall tonight.
I'm going to go.
I look good with this lighting.
It does, yeah. You can see less of me, so I'm definitely it makes me look better. I'm going to go 42-24 Wildcats. I know John Cooley and company from Boyertown will definitely call me a homer for that one. A full-strength Boyertown team really had this match, I think, tight. The fact that it's not, I don't know that they have the guys that are going to pull the upsets. I've been wrong before.
I think you're probably more accurate. You know this Owen J team a little bit better than I do. I just think Boyertown at home with the lights dimmed down, with the spotlight on the mat here, they're going to fight for every point. They're going to stay off their backs, not give up the big bonus points, and really, your outcome's just a little bit different. You're one, bonus ball away from where I am, really, and a three-pointer to the other side. So it's going to be a great match. But yeah, Owen J on paper clearly has the advantage. I think not only coming into the match full strength or not, clearly with a couple guys out from Boyertown, they become if I'm handicapping this thing, they're a 14-point favorite.
Yeah, my man in the match will be Cole Meredith. Given that we're starting at 182 pounds, he's gonna be the first in that the true first guy in that murders row for Owen J. And if it goes away, I think it does. They're gonna be down heading into that spot, and I think he's gonna jumpstart it, and you're gonna see Owen J start to roll at that point. So I think he's going to get it going. He's a very emotional kid. He's a high energy guy. He's going to come out. He's going to try and go for some big move to motivate his team and fire him up, and they're going to roll after that. So there you have it. I said 42-24. Cole Meredith, my man in the match. Glenn?
36-27, Mancini.
All right, folks. There's going to be no break. We're going to go right into the match after we get started here. But those are our keys to victory tonight for, if you want to put it that way, for each team.
The keys of victory, in a wrestling match, is the coin toss. Sometimes when you're in, if this is, like you said, full strength, and we always talk about this coin toss, the coin toss could really dictate a match. It could be the key factor. And sometimes coaches, you have two scenarios typically with a coin toss, but if you lose the coin toss and the other team makes a move that you don't expect, then you're back to kind of reorganizing and restructuring your lineup really quick. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me, and I've been on the winning end and the losing end of that. Once the matches I had no business winning because of the coin toss, and of course on the other end, expected to win. You go in, you lose the coin toss, you lose your mind as a coach. The kids are out of whack, and the next thing you know, one pin here, another pin there, and you're down 12 and you never recover. So
Glenn, what do you think right now? Little mind games here. Owen J standing at the edge of the mat, watching them warm up, getting a birds again,
Yeah, a little gamemanship. I don't call it disrespect. I call it gamemanship. I've seen Boyertown do it on occasion. Listen, it's all about getting any kind of mental advantage you can get. And I don't think Boyertown's intimidated by it at all. In fact, they're not even paying attention. But again, the old warm-up situation is great because Mike's going to take us to the mat, finally get rid of us.
Yeah.
But this is a typical gamemanship at a wrestling match, and I can't wait to see the coaches tonight either. We might get some excitement from those guys.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to see a lot of passion on both sides. We talked about it last week when we had Stagliano on, and we talked about Stagliano, the passion he brings to the table. You're going to see the same thing here. Dave Jones, a little bit more cool, calm demeanor.
Yeah.
Very businesslike.
Cool
very,
as a cucumber.
Yes. Very, very relaxed. Very calculated. I would say the O&J staff, going back to Boyertown, Tony Haley, he'll get loud. Cobb is a little bit animated. Nyman, I haven't seen him really coach too much yet. We'll see what we get out of him. Young guy, I'm sure he's being serious. He's passionate. We go to O&J staff. Brill and DeRaffalo always pretty cool, calm, collected. It's the other members of the staff that are ones that are going to get up and be very vocal, be very animated.
The bearded guy?
Yeah, which one? You got a couple of them over there. You got former O&J great Aaron Brown.
Oh, it's Aaron Brown I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's your boy.
He yells at me when on the mat sometimes when I was coaching across from him during the injury timeout. He'll let you know how he feels. But no. Listen, two contrasting styles with a young Dave Jones and an experienced Steve DeRaffalo, but same results. And can't say enough about Tony Haley. I mean, many battles with him when he was at Methacton.
Yeah, one back in the day.
Yeah, and we would go nose to nose at the table in the corner. I mean, all day long at sectionals. Just great respect for him, and he kind of may be that glue on this young staff to keep them together. Of course, pizza in the stands, and you know, just a lot of good coaching,
John
coaching
floating
guys
around.
in the building. Oh yeah.
You're never really out of it.
No, never out of it. So here we go, and then, you know, Kim Smith's our official tonight, our District 1, you know, committee chairman for the officials. So really good official tonight on the mat for this big match.